All right. I think that I'm broadcasting live, man. It shows me that I'm broadcasting live. So, yeah, let me see what's going on with that. So, all right, we're rock and roll. I guess I am broadcasting live. All right, man. I'm just gonna go through and bag and board and talk about my books. A lot of times, man, when I'm making my videos, uh, I don't really talk about all my books because some of my books I don't really enjoy so much. So I don't really talk about them so much, but and I don't really have a whole lot of time to, in a, 13-minute video to really talk, show off books and this, that, and the other that I do really enjoy. So I kind of wanted to do, a little hangout and, you know, talk about those books while I'm bagging and boarding them up. I hate bagging and boarding, man. I don't know whether how anybody else feels about that, but I freaking hate bagging and boarding. But I've got a lot of books, man, so I'm gonna go ahead and start bagging stuff up. Uh, First off, throwaways, man. This uh, Caitlin Kittredge uh, written book. Steven Sanders doing the art on this book. Really, the art on this book is not the, not a superhero, but not bad. But I love Caitlin Kittredge. I've really liked her since Coffin Hill. Uh, was an amazing book. Anybody that doesn't have Coffin Hill should really go out and check this out and trade. Well worth your while, man. Really, really good freaking book. But Throwaways has been really interesting. It's a book that is about like espionage, these people that have kind of been kicked out of like some kind of black ops group, and now the black ops group's going around trying to take them out so that they don't give away the secrets. Pretty freaking sweet. Next up, man, one of my favorite freaking books that I read, Gwenpool. Uh, I didn't start out thinking that I was going to just absolutely freaking love this book, and I was so wrong, man. The pages at the beginning of the book where she's talking about just like, I don't know, if people don't read Gwenpool, basically the gist is that Gwenpool comes from like our universe where there aren't superheroes. She's been thrown into this world where she is a fangirl and she knows all of the secrets of the superhero world. This was a really good issue because of the fact that she knows who Miles Morales is, and kind of sees him on a train and starts all like fangirling out because he's on the train with her, and then like hatches his plot that she's gonna go out and like, I don't know, be his BFF or whatever. Just really, really freaking cute. Next up, I got Black Monday Murders. This book was really freaking dense, man. I really like Jonathan Hickman, but this book reminded me a lot of Odyssey in the way that there's a lot of script and that there's a lot of like breakdown of like family histories and stuff going on. I'm hoping that with issue 2 that this book will be able to move forward now that I understand all the stuff that's going on. So, cool. Green Lanterns. I've been liking Green Lanterns all right. I don't like it near as much as I like the Hal Jordan book, but all in all, it's been a pretty good book. Red Hood and the Outlaws. This is issue 1. Really liking what's going on with Red Hood and the Outlaws. Like the way that, there's this whole Jason is trying to really like this Ma Barker character too. She's freaking great. Um, he's trying to infiltrate the Red Hood groups so that he can take them down for Batman. And he's kind of got a little bit of a, you know, he doesn't want to kill people, but at the same time, kind of, might have to kill people. Jason Todd's a guy, man, that I would really, really like to see Jason Todd get a series. I would really like a Red Hood series. I think he would fit in real good with that whole dark CW thing that's going on and all. So, then I haven't talked a lot about it because I'm not really enjoying it. But New Superman, there's certain parts of New Superman that I really like. I like the way that the Chinese Batman and the Chinese Wonder Woman kind of talk down to him, especially the Chinese Batman. The Chinese Batman's hilarious. But yeah, not a huge fan of the art in this book. It's funny to me sometimes whenever people draw Asians that they look so, I don't know, I guess fat is fat faced, but like, this guy right here, this like chubby face looking dude is supposed to be like the Superman. And then when you see him like, later on, like here, he actually looks like a Superman character. So, the art in that book has not really been my favorite. And it's one of those books that it's probably not long to this world as far as what I'm going to be reading in New 52. But has not been just totally freaking bad, man. Hey, what's good, JT, man? Nothing, man. Sitting here just talking some comics, man, as I bag them up. I love to babble, and this is a good chance for me to babble. Got this Adam Hughes cover on Supergirl. Also, another series that I'm not really enjoying, not necessarily for the art, but I'm really not so much enjoying the story in this book. It seems kind of discombobulated, like they're kind of trying to combine what happened in New 52, what happened before New 52, what happened in the TV show, and just kind of throw it in a blender and make this Supergirl book. It's just not really crazy enjoyable to me. But I mean, it's not a bad book, um, you know. But Steve Orlando, I don't think Steve Orlando, like Midnighter and different books that I've read that he's done, I just don't know that Steve Orlando is the writer for me. I mean, that's just me, man. I mean, I'm sure there's difference in opinion. Um, Next up, from 451, got Neverland. This book was freaking bizarre. I mean, I even held the freaking cover upside down. Yeah, bizarre. Basically, it's a Peter Pan story, but with like clubbing and drugs. And I mean, the art on it is freaking amazing. Love the art. 451 has got some of the uh, most sturdy comics that you're going to pick up. They tend to be a little short, but so far I haven't read anything from 451 that was bad. And I mean, that cover is freaking gorgeous. And like I say, interior art on it is freaking amazing. I really didn't want an issue 2 on this, but I've got an issue 2 in my file at work. So yeah, I guess I'll read an issue 2. Maybe it'll pan out on me, man. Yeah, I'm not really enjoying Supergirl, and like I say, I don't know exactly why it is that I'm not liking Supergirl. I do know, because of the fact that it's like I say, it's not any one thing. It's not following what she's doing with the DOE in the TV show, and it just totally forgets that Supergirl ever existed in the past. I'm curious whether or not, because of what happened in New 52, whether or not Supergirl is still a clone. Because in New 52, she was a clone of Kara. So I'm kind of curious about that. Man, Neverland, man, I would strongly recommend checking out anything from 451. Like I say, it is a really, really sturdy stock of book. Almost all the series that I've read from them have been super freaking good. So, you know. Hey, what's up, Don, man? I'm trying to copy your format a little bit, man, and just do a live broadcast while I'm sitting here, you know, freaking bagging and boarding books, man. It took me 2 days to figure out how to do a live broadcast. And so, I mean, I guess that I figured it out. But yeah, speaking of really, really good series that everybody should check out, Second Sight, man, from Aftershock. This series was freaking phenomenal. And I didn't particularly care for the way it ended, but it ended in a way that there can be more issues down the line. And but judging by what I saw on Twitter from Aftershock and David Hine, who writes this book, it didn't sell that well. So I'm hoping maybe that, you know, people will, I don't know how Aftershock's going to do trades, but I kind of hope that Aftershock puts this out in trade and it does really well so they can come back and give me more of this book because it was freaking awesome. It's basically about a guy who can see through the eyes of a murderer. So, like a serial killer. So he eats these mushrooms and then he can see what's going on, but he can only see that through the eyes of the killer. So it's hard for him to like actually really check out what's going on. And Paul Canali, that does the art in this book. The art in this book, to me, tells as much of a story as the actual writing. And the writing, man, by David Hine is freaking phenomenal. But I wish I had my issue too, so that I could show off just how much his art. But I mean, freaking nuts, man, how good this book was. And like I say, I wish that more people would check that out. Next, I got Briggsland #1. Briggsland #2 just came out. This book was pretty freaking good. #1, it's one of like probably 4 books that I'm super looking forward to this week. Basically, it's about a white supremacist family that the husband goes to jail, and the wife decides that she's going to take over the family, and the husband does not like that at all. Had a very like Sons of Anarchy type of feel to me. At the same time, kind of had a Justified kind of feel to me. But Brian Wood, man, I read anything that Brian Wood writes, so I'm kind of biased. But really, really thought that this was an awesome book. The art kind of reminds me a little bit of Lazarus in the way that the art's done. But yeah, man, really enjoyable book, and can't wait to check that out. #2 in my file, picking it up in the morning. Can't wait. Next up, another guy that I'm a super huge fan of, and so once again biased towards you know what I say, but Christopher Sebela. Really thought Demonic #1. I read a lot of horror books. It doesn't matter what it is: vampires, freaking zombies, Frankenstein. It doesn't matter, man. I'm a huge like you know, golden age of horror type of guy. So if you give me a classic movie monster setting, then you know, I'm definitely going to check it out. This is another book that I wasn't a crazy fan of the art on, but again, Christopher Sebela's stories to me are so freaking good that you know, I really enjoyed Demonic. I would say that oh, what's the name of that book? There's another book here in a second when I come up on it. Then you know, I'll say, yeah, this is the book I liked better than Demonic. But Christopher Sebela, man, if you know, if you're not familiar with him, I would strongly recommend Dead Letters. I love this freaking book. Basically, it's about a guy that wakes up, he's lost his memory, a little bit of like a Born Identity type of thing, and realizes that he's an assassin, which is, you know, freaking super sweet. And he's got all these letters that he wrote to himself that that don't necessarily tell him exactly what it is that you know, that he's supposed to be doing. But this book is awesome, and the art on it is freaking top notch. Love everything about it, man. Chris Vision's art, I'm a huge fan of. You know, but yeah, Dead Letters, man. Strongly recommend that, man. Great freaking book. All right, let's see what's next. Yeah, man, I like Demonic all right too, but like I say, there's a book I'm going to come up on here in a second that I tell you, Don, is as far as demons go, I think a better book. I don't know whether or not it's a better book, because if it was that good a book, honestly, I would remember the name, right? But yeah, man, now I need to know what the name of that book was. I really want to know. Because as far as demon books go, it was one of the better demon books that I've read in a freaking while. This is a great book, man. If anybody's not reading this, man, Sombra by Justin Jordan. Great freaking book. And what's bad about that other book, man, is that I've got 2 issues of it. Oh, The Hunt from Image, man. Yeah. This right here, I think The Hunt is a better book than Demonic was, as far as like demons and all go. Um, the art on this book is freaking amazing. I don't know how well that'll show, but this freaking page, dude, I swear to God, man, is so freaking sweet. And basically, The Hunt is about this girl who was, when she was a kid, she started seeing demons. She's a member of this family that you know, like her grandmother is like this witch, has like, you know, the hidden eye and all of that. And the demons can't hurt you until you're a certain age. So they've just basically been toying with her like throughout her entire life. And now that she's reached that age where the demons can actually go out and hunt her down, yeah, shit's getting out of hand. But yeah, man, that was The Hunt. So far, there's been 2 issues come out. I think there's a 3rd issue. Yeah, I think there's a 3rd issue that's in my file, but I don't totally remember seeing it today. But yeah, man, that's a great freaking book as far as demon books go. Yeah, man. And what's great about The Hunt is that it's not like it's written written and drawn by people that are not big names, you know. So I mean, that to me even makes it a better book, man. I like supporting people that don't have a lot of books out, so that hopefully these people that drew this book and that are writing such a good story and have such original ideas, hopefully, you know, they'll get another book, and you know, it's freaking awesome. And like I say, man, Sombra, which I think translates to shadow in Spanish. Um, this book, I absolutely do not like the art on this book, but the coloring on this book totally freaking saves how okay the art is. I love Justin Jordan. Uh, I'll probably say that a lot as I'm going through these books, that I love certain people, because I collect writers more than anything else. You can have a shitty artist and I'll still buy the book as long as it's a good story. But Sombra basically is like an Apocalypse Now type of story. It's about this girl who her dad was a DEA agent, and back in the 80s and early 90s or so, he went to Central America to try to like do the whole war on drugs, and he turned into like the guy that all of the cartels fear. And now his daughter is going to Central America to try to like talk to her dad, find her dad, see what happened and everything. And just a lot of different levels, man, that this book is really, really good. But it's very Apocalypse Now, man. Like that you send in this special forces guy and he goes crazy. That's kind of how it is in this. Um, and everybody kind of respects him because of the fact that he's just so sadistic. Um, where is that? Where is that page? Like this guy right here is talking about like how this sculpture of body parts that this guy has made, how that's just like, a work of art, But yeah, man, super good. Really enjoying that. That's one of the only books in a while that I actually went into my shop, and the only book that I bought that day was the second issue of this book. Hey, man, yeah, Jay. Uh, I don't know how well I'm streaming, but yeah, so I sorted it out that I have to go through the computer. And funny enough, man, these two boxes down here are both me. I don't know how exactly they're both me, and it could really shut down at any moment. But yeah, kind of got it sorted out. I know a lot of people really like Rat Queens and Peter Panderhurst, which are both great series. Um, Also a huge fan of them. Curtis Wiebe has got a series coming out right now from Dark Horse called Bounty that I am really, really enjoying. I actually went into my shop today and added Bounty to my pull. Um, I like Curtis Wiebe a lot. I think he can tell a really good story, especially when it comes to females. And I think that he's got a really good female story going on here. And Mindy Lee's art, um, I really, really freaking enjoy. It reminds me a lot of Becky Cloonan, and I'm a huge Becky Cloonan fan, so that's freaking awesome. But yeah, the art and the coloring and the way that the artist and the coloring and just everything goes together in this book. Um, I'm reading Kim and Kim from Black Mask, which is also about two women that are bounty hunters. And this is a far superior book. I actually went in and added this to my list and dropped Kim and Kim today. And I really liked issue 1 on Kim and Kim. But I said it before, I'll say it again. Black Mask, God only knows when I'm going to get another issue of a Black Mask book. So, I want to support Black Mask, but I can't support Black Mask when I've got no idea when or if I'll get another issue of a book I enjoy, So, is what it is. Next up, man, really enjoyable, man. Anybody out there that's got kids, looking for something to check out that you can read with your kids and is also enjoyable, check out, man, freaking Ghoul Scouts, dude, from Action Lab. This book is so freaking good. The art on it is not just amazing, but this book is what I was hoping that the Gotham Academy Lumberjanes book was going to be. Basically, these people are out on like a scout trip, and the undead start to take over and kill everybody. And so this group of scouts who were outcast from the men's group were not really with the group when everything got attacked, and these two females also not with the group. So now they're just like this like band of misfits that are going out and trying to kill the living dead. What I really like about this book is that in the back there's all kinds of sketch breakdowns that show you like what the artist's thoughts were in the books and everything. And in the back of this issue, it shows you, well, I mean, that's the ink, but it shows you here that it's not just going to be zombies that they're messing with. They're also going to mess with werewolves and Dracula and Frankenstein. God only knows what, because this place is apparently like a portal to, you know, to bad things happening. But yeah, just loving this freaking book, dude. Crazy freaking cute. The interaction between all the characters in the book. Jay, did you see that football game tonight, man? I think we lost another one, right? Didn't we all lose that game tonight, or did any of us pick the Jets? Because all I know, man, is once again, I said, man, that Matt Forte was going to freaking beast, and Matt Forte beasted in that game, man. Rebirth titles, man, really not enjoying Batgirl. I like Birds of Prey a shitload better than I do Batgirl. Nightwing, I don't really have a full opinion on Nightwing because, as you can see, these 3 issues of Nightwing, I'm not even going to read. I'm just going to bag them, and I drop Nightwing. So, you know, is what it is. Nightwing is one of my favorite characters, but he's not my favorite Robin. And right now, I think that the Red Hood book is a better book than the Nightwing book from what I've read. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick by my Jason Todd and hope that you know, hope that all that works out. And next up, man, one of the best horror series out there, Harrow County. If you're not reading Harrow County, man, you're missing out. Stupid good how good this book is. Witchcraft story, Colin Bunn, Tyler Cook's art on this book. I just absolutely love Tyler Cook's art on this book. Also, if anybody didn't read Death Follows, that came out, it was a straight to trade book. Also, super freaking recommend Death Follows, man. Where is that at? Well, I thought that would be a shitload more handy. But yeah, Death Follows, which came out, which was not drawn by Tyler Cook, but was written by Colin Bunn. And Colin Bunn's another one of those guys that I will absolutely buy anything that. Well, I don't. I don't necessarily prefer talking to a tat. I don't necessarily. I do prefer the stories of indies, because unlike Marvel or DC, they're not. They're not pigeonholed into a certain way that they have to do things. I really like sci-fi. That's something that I'm not going to get from DC and Marvel. I really like horror. That's not something I'm going to get from Marvel. But what I like most about indies is that I don't have to mess with crossovers. I don't have to mess with events. I've dropped all of my Marvel titles except for Gwenpool, because I'm not dropping Gwenpool. It's too freaking good a book. But I'm really, really pissed off that the issue of Gwenpool that I'm fixing to go and pick up tomorrow is a crossover with Civil War. There is no reason whatsoever that Gwenpool needs to have anything to do with Civil War 2. But, you know, she does. So, oh, yeah. I mean, indies definitely have the you know, have the freedom and variety. I mean, it's more. I mean, I mean, I understand people that, you know, are huge fans of Batman. You know, they can't get enough Batman. Um, that's not the way my brain works. My brain, after reading like even 20 issues of a book, I don't care how good the book is. If you ever see me having a book that I'm like issue 23 of this book, that book must be freaking good, because I lose interest. I don't care how good a series is. I think I have 4 series that I've read since the beginning that are above issue 20. Generally, at issue 20, I stop and start picking books up in trade. But then there's certain books like The Woods, that I've not only picked up The Woods in single issues, but I've also picked up all the trades. You know, Lazarus. Uh, you know, Lazarus, I've not only picked up the single issues and picked up the trades, but I've also picked up the hardcovers. Lazarus, one of the best series out there, man. I know uh, Old Man Gamer not here, man, but he would sure agree with me about how freaking awesome that series is. Okay, I know I'm rambling, guys. But Joiners, uh, I don't know that I would recommend picking this series up in single issues. Joiners is a series that came out about 2 years ago. At the time, I don't believe that it was published by Arcadia, but it was in 3D. I've got the 3D version also, but I loaned it out to somebody. Super freaking sweet. The only reason they came out with this is because they wanted to color it. And I mean, the art on it and the coloring on it is freaking fantastic. But I really like the 3D version better than I like the 2D with color. The 3D version's in black and white. So, but you know, that's a pretty good book. It's basically about like a futuristic society that there are all these clones that you get your clone to go and do things for you. And the company that controls the clones, I don't know. There's just a lot of just sci-fi stuff going on, but like a whole family dynamic thing that's going on that's freaking amazing. Another Gwenpool. This is a variant cover for the Doc Strange issue. It's another thing. If I pick up regular covers and variant covers, and it's a pretty good sign that I like that book also. A book that I did not like was Blood and Dust from Action Lab Danger Zone. I pick up all Action Lab Danger Zone books, and yeah, I was not a huge fan of this book. I mean, I think that the art on it was fantastic, but I read a lot of hero counties that are amazing, and you know, different horror books. That this book just really did not. I don't even think it's in the top 3 best Action Lab Danger Zone horror books. I mean, not even the whole horror thing that's going on out there. I don't even think this book was in the top of what Action Labs is putting out. I mean, Puppet Master is freaking amazing. If you're not reading Puppet Master, strongly recommend that book, dude. Puppet Master, if you like the movies, it is like, oh man, it should just be canon. I mean, it is that good. All right, man. Good to see you, JT, man. Thanks for coming by. Next up, Clean Room number 11. Clean Room has been really, really interesting. I like the whole mystery that's going on in this book. How just Gail Simone gives you just a little bit each book, a little bit each book. Davis Hunt's art on this book. That's Shade, man. Every time I see that Shade the Changeling, I just love that freaking art. But yeah, I love the artwork on this book. I love how there's a lot of like almost void space that that takes place, like a lot of white, which really makes the stuff that's colored on it just pop, you know. Oh man, Hillbilly #2. If you're not reading Hillbilly, man, I don't get it. There's a lot of really good, indie titles out there. So far, the first 2 issues of Hillbilly have just been freaking amazing. I mean, I love Eric Powell's art anyway, but I love it when a writer artist gets a chance to really just write and draw a book, just his vision. And yeah, the first 2 issues of Hillbilly have been great. Really looking forward to Spook House, which I think is coming out next month. Let's see. I think there's an advertisement for it in here. Maybe not. Oh well. But yeah, Spook House coming out next month. It's going to be like Eric Powell doing like an anthology type of thing, like a Dark Horse Presents or something like that. So, you know, super cool. #4 on Delete. This was the last issue of Delete. Once again, kind of a Born Identity story. This guy has had his memory wiped in the future, and this family gets killed, and they say, "Take care of my daughter." Kind of reminds me of the movie The Professional. I don't know if anybody's ever seen The Professional, but a little bit like that. But yeah, it was a really good series. Like it when Justin Gray and Jimmy Palminotti get together and write something. They've got a really good working relationship. Broken Moon. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. This is from American Gothic Press. There was a previous series that came out. This is a new writer. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to enjoy it, and I actually liked the first issue of the second series better than I liked the whole first series. So, you know, once again, just some, I like Ben Templesmith, and I think that this Nate Jones guy has got a real Ben Templesmith type of way to his art, which is, you know, crazy cool. But I like books that are about, like I say, monsters, man. And this book is all about some werewolves. So yeah, man, crazy cool. Oh Hell #3. This is about a boarding school in hell, where basically people send their kids off to be somebody else's problem. But the boarding school is actually hell. And in hell, I love this cover too, man. The way that she's got like the whole marionette, is that what it is? Things with her classmates. But yeah, basically they send them off to this boarding school, and it's hell. And the teachers, which are demons, start to teach them how to use their bad for bad and make them even worse. Spread. Love this series. Another Justin Jordan series. Just really well written. Anything you get by Justin Jordan, always going to be well written. But this is a book, man, that I thought whenever Kyle Statham left the book, now he's only doing covers. I thought when he left the book that I wasn't going to be a huge fan, but they replaced him with Felipe Sorrentino, which did the Luther Stroud series with Justin Jordan, and you know, big fan of that series. Brink from Oni Press. That book is kind of silly. It's about a kid that's getting bullied around. His grandfather gets killed. His grandfather had been a Jew in World War II, and he tells him about how that they made this golem to defend their village against the Nazis. So now, since this kid's getting bullied, he decides that he's going to go out and like make this golem. But the problem is that he can't control it, and it's in the middle of New York City. And yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's an okay book. It's one that I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to continue to read, but maybe. It's kind of funny. Revisionist from Black Mask. This is one of the first Black Mask books that I've not been a huge fan of. It's a time travel book. The art on it is by Gary Brown, that does a lot of work with Brian Wood. He's doing Black Road with Brian Wood. He does the whole Ninth Wave thing with Brian Wood. And the art on the book is great. And, you know, like the time travel scenes and just everything going on in the book it's got some really cool stuff going on. But the actual story of the book by Frank Barbary, just not a huge fan of. Black Hammer, man. This is kind of like the Watchmen, like Jeff Lemire's Watchmen, I guess. It's about a group of superheroes that kind of got out of control, and so they kind of took and put them in this this dimension where they can't do anything to hurt anybody. And you know, it's got a little bit of a Hellboy feel to it also. But yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. This girl that you see here on the cover, she's got like an opposite Shazam power, where when she says her Shazam word, instead of transforming into an adult, she transforms into this little girl. And now that they're in this world, she's locked in this little girl's body, and she's just a foul-mouthed, freaking smoking, drinking, little freaking 7-year-old girl, man. It's freaking hilarious. Black Road. It's Brian Wood, Gary Brown series. Like I said, I love Gary Brown's art. I just kind of wish that the story was better on that revisionist book. This Black Road, though, has been really, really excellent. All right, give me just a second, guys. I got to step away for a second. So anybody out there still watching, man? I'm just talking to myself now. Because I would understand if you quit watching my babbling. I really wish that this chat had some kind of a freaking timer on it, man, to let me know exactly how long I'm going. But anyway, next up I got Lazarus number 24. This is part of the culling that's going on, all-out war with the Lazarus. Again, man, if you're not reading Lazarus, freaking series is amazing. The main character forever has been down the last couple of issues, so it's kind of been at a lull, but man, all in all, great series. Speaking of great series, man, this book right here, man, do yourself a favor and go out and pick this freaking book up. It is, I think, the best book that Action Labs is putting out, even above Puppet Master, man. Written and drawn by Mia Goodwin. The coloring on it, I believe now that she has help on the coloring. But this book is freaking amazing. Basically, it's about this little girl that one of her friends dies, and these fairies come along to try to help her out. This is like the good angel and the bad angel, and she's just going around taking out everybody that she views as an enemy, but it's slowly transforming her into like this, like, you know, thing of evil that can't be controlled. And super freaking original story. Like I say, I think she's got some help on the coloring, and I don't think that the coloring pops as much as it did in the first arc. But this is issue number 7, second issue in the second arc. The trade is out on it, and I would strongly recommend anybody going out and checking out that trade, man. Tomboy. Thing I like about Tomboy is that it doesn't matter what cover you get. Like, every cover on this book has been just freaking a top-notch, man, freaking cover. And it also, generally, the cover is something that's going to be revealed in the book. So throughout reading the book, you're waiting to see who this person is. And then, like, on the last page, find out who this person is. I think it's a really unique way of doing books. Oh, man. Christopher Scabella again. Robert Wilson the Fourth, who I really enjoy his art. I really enjoy his coloring, but his art in this book, I want to say unique. It's probably not for everybody, but for me, I really enjoyed his art, man. A lot of times, you know, I'll be happy to buy a book just to support somebody that I think, you know, is really talented or whatever. And I think that Robert Wilson IV deserves to be an artist. Yeah, I mean, his coloring's amazing. But basically, this is about a girl who gets a heart transplant. The guy that she gets a heart transplant from is a bank robber. And since she's never done anything in her whole life, she decides to go out and rob banks. And that's what she does. And she's like Robin Hood. Like, she doesn't like rob the banks for herself. She robs the banks and then like gives the money to charity, you know. But she becomes like a criminal mastermind, and it's funny watching the way that there's a transition of this character over the course of time. This is issue 5. It's the last issue of this arc, from what I understand. Talking to Christopher Scabella on Twitter. He's got 3 arcs pinned for this. So, yeah, I can't wait for more of this. Although he did say that it was going to be like next June before the next issue of that comes out. So, you know. Comedic Punisher. What is Comedic Punisher? Because that sounds like something I could get into. Next up, I got Birds of Prey. Like I say earlier, I'm not really digging the Batgirl thing, but this Birds of Prey, I really freaking enjoy. I like Oracle, who right now is the villain in this book. I like Batgirl. I love Huntress. Huntress is one of my favorite DC superhero people. I guess she's kind of an anti-hero, but you know, love her. Black Canary, one of my favorite in DC also. I mean, basically, you've got every woman that I like in DC except for Starfire. If somehow you could figure out how to put Starfire on this team, that would be like the ultimate freaking book for me. And Also, it's written by the Bensons, Sheila Benson, and what's the other one's name? I can't ever remember. Uh, Julie Benson and Sheila Benson, uh, who are the writers of 100. And I love 100. Uh, if you guys haven't seen 100, dude, that is some Lord of the Flies shit going on over there. Freaking awesome. Oh, next up, Slayer, Hardcore Santa Claus, dude. Uh, this book is both funny and insanely bizarre. Uh, basically, it's like, if you've seen the movie Bad Santa, that's kind of this guy. Uh, this is a book that was stuck in my file that I really didn't think that I was going to enjoy. And, you know, I looked at the art, and I'm not a huge fan of the art on this book, but, I mean, that issue 1 made me laugh from the beginning of the issue to the end of the issue. I got issue 2, same thing, man. Just, dude, I was freaking cracking up. But yeah, man, that comes out also from Danger Zone. Man, I like that Marvel Knights run of Punisher. I like all of those Marvel Knights runs, man. One of my favorite stories that I've read from Fantastic Four, outside of, like, you know, John Byrne Fantastic Four, one of my favorite stories I've read is the one that I sent to Mercy from the Marvel Knights Fantastic Four, man. That Marvel Knights series, I believe that Jimmy Palmiotti and somebody else, there were 2 other people, maybe Joe Quesada and somebody else that were in charge of that Marvel Knights run. That, man, I really think that they grabbed Marvel, man, by the collar and just pulled them up out of the quicksand, because they were dying at that time, you know. But yeah, I've seriously enjoyed everything that I've read from Marvel Knights, basically. Uh, next up, I got Gru, Fray of the Gods. I'm happy to see that there's Gru coming out, man. You know, I've said a million times, dude, I'm a huge freaking Gru fan. The Friend and Foes that came out last year, I could never really get behind that series because of the fact that each issue was so, like, compartmentalized, and just like there wasn't really an ongoing story, which was not that enjoyable to me. But so far, the Stray of the Gods, the first couple of issues, I've super enjoyed. So one of my biggest disappointments in the last little while has been the Paybacks, which I crazy enjoyed. And I'm a huge Donny Cates fan, a huge fan of his, like, entire team that does things with him. You know, Elliot Raoul, I really freaking enjoy. Jeff Shaw, like, some of my favorite art is from Jeff Shaw on Town Called Dragon. Love Town Called Dragon. But Lauren Affey, who is the colorist on basically everything that this group has done, left to go over and do a book on Aftershock. She's actually the colorist on Revisionist. But left to go over there, and I'm not a fan of the direction of I actually dropped this series off my file, which it was hard for me to do, man, because I freaking love all of these people, but I'm not a fan of this freaking book. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Another good series from Aftershock is Bolts, man. Really, really enjoy James Wynott's art style. He's got a really, really unique art style, man. And I like the way that he does a lot of line work and just basically splashes red on it for blood, which is freaking amazing. And so far, there's 3 issues out on that. And the first one I really, really liked. The second one, I was kind of like, yeah. And then the last one, crazy freaking good. Nailbiter 23. Like I say, man, if I'm reading a series past issue 20, then there's something good going on. And not only that, but strongly recommend, man, this hardcover on Nailbiter. There's a lot of bonus material in this book, as far as like scripting and concept artwork. Just crazy good stuff coming out for Nailbiter, man. Town full of serial killers, and yeah, man, been going on for years. Super enjoyable series. Once again, Black Road. I have a tendency, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I've got a tendency that I read, I'll save books up, almost read them like a trade, and save up like 3 or 4 issues. So then when I get to this portion where I'm bagging and boarding, yeah, I've got 3 or 4 issues of a book that I'm freaking reading. Happens every time. And a lot of those books, man, whenever you hear me say that I'm going to trade on something, generally that's why I'm going to trade on something, is that I've read it as long as I want to read it, and another issue of Nailbiter. This Bound for Blood series from Nailbiter has not been one of my favorites, to be honest. I mean, it's been a pretty good series, but it's giving you like a little bit of background on the main character that I just don't really know whether or not it was needed. I got Weavers, number 3 of 6. My comic guy is going to laugh at me tomorrow because I told him that I had number 4, but I don't guess that I do. So, another issue of Green Lanterns. Once again, really enjoying the Hal Jordan run on Green Lanterns, man. Any series where I get to see Hal Jordan get punched in the face every issue, I'm all for it. Which seasons were the good ones on Buffy? As far as the trades go, or what? Another issue of Revisionist. Like I say, man, Lauren Affey's coloring, I freaking just love. And I know she's got another book that she's fixing to start coloring from Aftershock. But, on the library editions, season 8. Season 8 is really, really good. After season 8, I would not at all recommend picking up anything past that. However, I can't get it out. This Angel and Faith was also really good. Season 9 on the Angel and Faith was also really good. Which is actually, I believe, runs simultaneous with season 8 on the Buffy series. But those season 8 volumes, there's 4 of them, are freaking badass. Strayers, from Aftershock, another Justin Jordan series. I love everything about this book. It's a really, really good story about a guy that's escorting a little girl. The art is by Juan Gideon. That the only thing I've seen him do art on was the Ghost Riders that was part of the that Marvel event that went on not long ago. But I like his art, and I love Tamara Bullivant's coloring in this, man. I love the way she loves oranges. I love orange, so yeah, super cool. Dark and Bloody. An Appalachian tale, man, about this dude that went to Iraq. His troop killed a family, and so basically now a demon has been summoned to go around and kill all the people that were involved in that. Yeah, been really, really freaking good. And the art on it is one of my favorite things about this book. I like this freaking crazy bird monster thing. It's like it's not really a demon so much as it's like a cursed monster that hunts them down. But yeah, super good. Cry Havoc. I don't really have a lot to say about Cry Havoc. I really like the covers on Cry Havoc. I really like the way that they have like a really good artist. Like this one's by Sean Phillips. Each one of them has a really good artist. The interior art on it also really freaking good. But yeah. Betty and Veronica #1. I only bought this because I like the cover. I still like the cover. The way that it's like a throwback. The way that it's got like all the creasing and like, you know, just like wear on the book. It cracks me up, man. But I didn't actually read Betty and Veronica. Maybe I should, because I read the Archie stuff and I really like the Archie stuff, but another issue of Joiners. Once again, I think that they should have just stayed with the 3D. And by the way, I got the 3D on eBay for 99 cents. Hardcover, which was freaking sweet. Giant Days 17. Just a fun book. Hellcat #8. I'm really disappointed that I dropped Hellcat, but like I say, I was trying to purge all my my Marvel and DC. Puppet Master. What is this? 17. Puppet Master, man. If you're a fan of the Puppet Master series, if you're a fan of any of those like 80s corny horror movies, man, Action Lab Danger Zone is the place to be, because they put out all of those freaking 80s corny movies. Joyride. Really, really freaking enjoying Joyride. Basically, these people that have been on Earth, the art on this book's amazing, coloring too. They're kind of imprisoned on Earth, and they decide that they're just going to kind of break out. And so yeah, man, really interesting. Elasticator from Scout Comics. I don't even really know how to describe Elasticator. Now that I look at it, I don't think I've read this issue. I have to check that out. But yeah, Elasticator, art on it, really freaking sweet. about this guy that's got superpowers. He joins in with like a drug gang and kind of becomes like an enforcer type of thing going on. Man, I've crazy freaking enjoyed this book. I don't read a lot of Scout comics, man, but that one right there is freaking good. And yeah, man, I think that's about it. And I guess I'm gonna get off here. And thanks anybody that watched. And I will talk to you guys later.